closing out the show came, and this is something that I wanted to discuss.
Good.
I've been thinking about games of our childhood. We just went through the top 100, and we talked about some of the games that we'll probably talk about today, or we talked about then. We'll probably talk about some of them today. But you remember how big licensed video games were when we were kids?
Fuck, dude. Love them.
Fucking love them, and it's something that I
Still
thought
do.
about this last week when you reviewed RoboCop. That I was like, now that we don't get them, we just had Spider-Man 2 on the PS5 come out, RoboCop, like they happen.
Mhm.
But I feel like when we were kids, licensed game meant something very different than it means today. Like
Mhm.
usually it was either like a movie tie-in or a show tie-in, or it was like one of the only ways that a comic book came to life, because there weren't a lot of comic book movies when we were kids.
Mhm.
And so there was a lot of kind of like magic and mystique to licensed games as kids, because like, oh wow, I can play as Batman in a video game, or I can play Indiana Jones the game. So I wanted to talk about some of our favorite ones from our childhood, from the audience's childhood, and just let's just give a little love to the licensed games of our childhood. Cam, what do you say?
Yeah, I do. I'm so excited about this.
So I think the way that we should start this
Mhm.
is just start talking about them. What's one from your childhood that really sticks out to you that you remember fondly?
So, funnily enough, Sid and I actually watched this last night. A YouTuber we like, Hollow. He did a first like hour or two of Peter Jackson's King Kong, the movie, the
The
official
game.
video game,
Yes.
and what a hell of a title! Here's the thing: I looked this up. Come to find out, the devs behind it is actually was Ubisoft who developed the game, and it was the devs who made Rayman made this game.
Yo, really?
Yes, and let me tell you, there's no way that this game should be good, and it was fucking amazing.
I remember really liking this game. I think I rented it from Hollywood Video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so fucking good, and they even had Jack Black. Jack Black
Oh yeah.
reprised his role and voiced his own character in the game. Um, yeah, it's just like I like the really fond memories of like playing that on the PlayStation 2, just like back in the day. It's like what 2005, I think, when it
hmm
came out. Just love that game.
I also remember that was a launch title on the 360, and
Mm.
so I remember we got the 360 at launch, I believe, and I remember like seeing trailers for the game like on the OG Xbox PS2 version, and then also seeing how much better it looked on the 360. I was like, I want to wait and get it on and play it on the 360 to see what this new thing is all about. And I remember renting it and being like, this is what a video game can look like. And it was fucking King Kong. But
Yeah.
because it was a first person shooter, right?
Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
FPS. It was so weird. Just like you like went through Skull Island and you like killed like giant insects and giant and reptiles and shit. Just like a weird game that like honestly don't know why. Well, outside the fact that like those days were rife for games like this. I
Yeah.
distinctly remember. I don't know if you remember this one, but do you remember the Seven Up game on the Super Nintendo?
I don't remember the
Yeah, man,
7
it
Up
was a
game.
side-scrolling platformer where
What?
you were the 7 Up, like, it was like I don't even know what it was, like the red circle. It was like the 7 Up mascot.
That's hilarious. I did not know that game existed.
Yeah, man, I don't even remember the name of it, but I remember it was on the Super Nintendo, and I remember renting it from, I wanna say Blockbuster as a young child, 'cause of course, why wouldn't you? Then
Yeah.
I think you have other awesome, incredible licensed games as well, like, that aren't even just, like, nostalgic hits, but, like, genuinely good games, like Simpsons Hit and Run
Sure.
was like Simpsons Hit and Run, GTA clone. Just no reason a game like that should be good, because the concept and idea of a licensed game is specifically to capitalize on interest of a certain IP at a very
Yeah.
certain period of time, and they came out incredibly fast. Typically, it was by devs that were not great.
Yep. To say the
And
least.
they would churn them out. They'd be like, "Hey, we got the new." I mean, shit. I think the last time I distinctly remember a situation like this was when Captain America: The First Avenger came out, and it was like there's 18 different versions of this one particular game, all made by different devs, all made in like 6 months. They were all, as you can imagine, fucking
Yeah.
dog shit.
John, he wrote in a few, but is also in the chat right now. The Lion King on Game Gear, I learned to control my rage. I remember playing The Lion King on the Sega Genesis.
Dude, brutally difficult.
Brutally difficult. I remember getting so upset that I couldn't beat the game because I was like, I just, I'm jumping around as Simba. I'm in the jungle. I'm just platforming around. And I'm like, I just want to see, like, I know how the movie ends, but I want to see how the game ends, but I can't because this game is so hard.
So funny. Yeah,
Uh,
brutally difficult. There was here's one for you. This one is very obscure. Probably no one knows about this. But this is actually a really big one in the speedrunning community. A lot of times this will show up on the Awful Games Done Quick block during GDQ or AGDQ. And it's called Darkened Sky. It is a dark fantasy game. Patrick,
oh,
what do you think it's licensed off of?
Darkened Sky.
Darkened Sky came out in the year 2000. It was a PC game.
What was that movie with Jude Law and maybe Angelina Jolie? They were like World War I pilots.
Oh, Iron
Do you know
Sky?
what I'm talking about?
Is it Iron Sky?
Maybe that movie is my guess.
Yeah, you're absolutely wrong. It's the candy Skittles.
Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. I'm sorry, Candied Skittles?
The candy Skittles.
Oh, just the candy Skittles.
Just the candy Skittles. Skittles. This was the game is based on.
Wait, what's it called again?
Darkened Sky.
Oh, with an E, Darkened Sky. Okay, I'm doing a little screen share situation.
And people speed run this game because it's so fucking terrible, and it is like a just an absolute gag. Darkened Sky. It is all about Skittles.
Wow, how the fuck is this game about Skittles?
That's a great question.
When I Google it, the first like auto suggests in the images section is just Skittles.
Yeah, it's Skittles. Something about it is Skittles.
I am so shocked by this information, and I think, Cayman, we might need an official Darkened Sky review next year when we're done with all this Game of the Year bullshit.
I feel like we'd have to try to figure out. We'd have to emulate it. I have a feeling, so it might have to be you.
Oh, sure,
because you could do it on the Steam Deck.
Wow.
It got a 7 out of 10 on IGN. There's no fucking way. Oh my god!
Let's see the verdict. But this was
good.
Ivan Sulich gave it a good out of 10.
A good out of 10.
The comments section the comment section is new to IGN PC. I'm not really. Wait, what? But I digress. Darkened Sky is a solid but never markedly above average outing in the genre. Titles now a year or two old can easily offer up better graphics, better sound, and better gameplay. However, Darkened Sky's charm, personality, and lovable nature are irresistible, especially when seen alongside so many other ostentatious titles of sickeningly profound seriousness. He must have been being paid by the word. Irresistible for sure, but not exalting enough to overcome substandard play mechanics. And I'm sorry, Ivan, you're not describing a 7 out of 10 here. You're describing a 5 out of 10.
Fucking Yakuza Like a Dragon was like a 7. How is this a 7?
I'd have liked it. I'd have liked to like it more, but Skittles in the day and Skittles in the night without any real sustenance is enough fuel to only drive a brief novelty.
What a sentence! What a sentence, bro!
Wow.
In the history of mankind, no one would ever.
What happened to them?
Would ever do that.
Mike, what happened to Boston Animation? He's not here. I'm speaking through time. Wow. I'm so shocked right now.
Wow.
Another write-in, The Hunchback of Notre Dame Topsy-Turvy Games. This is from John in the chat. Never heard of this game, but what it reminds me of, let me make this a little bigger. What it reminds me of, I played this Beauty and the Beast game as a kid. Oh, I'm sharing the wrong tab. Hold on. Share this tab instead. But I can't really tell what this game is based on the images, but it kind of gave me that same vibe. I'm wondering, like, John, was this like a point and click maybe? But it looks, the art style is cool. Yeah. But I don't remember this game, but it looks pretty cool. Go ahead.
Do you remember the Burger King games?
Yes, Sneak King.
Sneak King. What was the other ones?
There was a motorcycle one. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, the kart racer.
Pocket bike racer. So you were on like those tiny little motorcycles that like kids have, and then Big Bumpin'. It was like a bumper cars game, I guess. But I played the shit out of Sneak King.
That's what you're getting for Christmas this year. Is you're gonna get all of the Sneak Kings. It's
what
only
if I told you
$16. You already have
What if
them?
I told you I already own Sneak King, but I don't own. I remember having them, but I don't have them anymore. Big Bumpin' and Pocket.
I feel like you kind of have to have all of them.
I kind of do though. So I won't say no to a Big Bumpin' and a Pocket bike racer.
It's funny.
Christmas
I
present.
keep a list, right? I keep a list of every single series of films that I have, like in my collection, that I need to finish. And I feel like this is the same instance where it's like you need the Burger King IP games.
Yes, I do. Also, another one, John wrote in Aragon, the video game, but he said, it was a joke. He couldn't keep a straight face. But I was like, oh no, John, I played this game.
Oh, I
and
did too.
I liked this game.
Yes, I
thought
did.
this game was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't really remember like what kind of a game it was. I think it was maybe like a third-person action-y type, like brawler.
Yeah. It was, yeah. It was like a hack and slash.
There's like dragons and shit.
Yeah.
I was all about this movie or this game because we fucking Jeremy Irons. Hold on. Is John Malkovich in Aragon?
I'm pretty sure that's John Malkovich. Yeah.
Wow, I don't remember that. I think.
Could you imagine
Aragon.
I think someone should make a Being John Malkovich the video game.
Can you imagine?
Believe me, brother, I can't imagine.
John says the combat was terrible, though. It probably was, but I was too young and dumb to realize it. There were dragons, and that's all that mattered to me. One for me, we've talked about it on the show, but
Pepsi
Lord of the
Man.
Rings. Pepsi Man, the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, and the Return of the King, the side-scrolling action brawlers that you would play, couch co-op. Why is the graphics were absolute dog shit, but being able to play as any of the characters in the Fellowship, man, they really just don't have a lot of screenshots of this game.
Wow.
I'm shocked by this, but yeah, what a great game. Oh, because I'm just searching Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. I didn't put game. That's why. Yeah, this game ruled. Like looking back at it, it's so brown and it's so green.
It was there was like the heyday of that color scheme though.
Like that's all that they could do. But I remember my brothers and I played, and I feel like I've talked about this on the show before. We played this game so much, and you could do all three of us. So one of us would be Aragorn, one would be Legolas, one would be Gimli, and we just fucking play the socks off of this video game. Definitely a very high on my list that I remember personally. But what's another one from you, Cayman?
Oh, brother. Here's a good one. The Fantastic Four, the movie video game. I don't know if you ever played this. It was.
Let's see.
It was
this
like
the old.
It was. You would play it, and it was like a Fuck. What was it like? It was like Ultimate Alliance.
I was about to say, was it like Ultimate Alliance? Because
it was like kind of the isometric, almost half top down. You would level up and you would use like superpowers between each other. And it was great, man. It co-op. It was just like, I think this is the one thing that we're missing the most right now is we don't have like any co-op games.
Like not a lot of them. That's for sure.
We'd like no more couch co-op. Like we need more games like this. And like I remember my cousin and I, we used to play this so fucking much.
I'm remembering I played the Silver Surfer version, so the sequel. I don't think I played the original.
I don't know if I ever played the Silver Surfer one. This was a big one. Another one that was absolutely terrible. I know you have a copy of right now somewhere. Shaq Fu.
Oh yeah, I do. I could. And actually, no, not Shaq Fu. I think it's in my storage unit. Actually, this game I played so much Shaq Fu. Shaq Fu was like a Mortal Kombat-esque game.
So bad,
such a bad video game. But I thought it was so cool. Yeah, here's the original box art, 1994. What a game! And then they did a modern recreation of it like 2 years ago. They got like
also
a 2 out of 10.
So bad. Here's the thing. I think there's another great example of like how these can actually go really well, and it's rare. But like Spider-Man 2, the movie, game, is still considered like as one of the greatest Spider-Man games ever made.
Yeah, it's a great video game.
It is. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's a licensed IP based off a movie video game.
Mm-hmm. I remember that was one of those first times as a kid, that moment of like, I wonder what it would feel like swinging as
Yeah.
Spider-Man, and then you play it and it feels great. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, this is what, like, this is why video games fucking rule. John in the chat, does Def Jam Fight for New York count as a licensed game? I think absolutely it does. I think, like, for sure. I think it, bringing in all the different rappers from Def Jam Records. We got fucking Snoop, we got Fat Joe, we got Method Man, Redman, Sticky Fingers. Like, this game, yeah. John and I, we've talked about this game before. That game fucking rules. Big fan of Def Jam 5 for New York. I play that game so
absolutely.
much. Another one for me.
50 Cent Blood in the Sand.
Bad Blood in the Sand. I stole a copy of that video game from it wasn't Hollywood Video. It was called, started with an M. It was like Movie Palace or something. I forget what it was called, but it was a game that I rented and then it went out of business. So I was like, oh well, I'm keeping this.
So you did steal it.
I mean, I guess not.
Circumstance.
For street cred, I'm gonna say I stole it. One that I think of often is The Matrix Path of Neo, which wasn't it wasn't specifically a movie tie-in as much as it was just like extended universe type stuff, because there was also Enter the Matrix, which you played as Jada Pinkett Smith's character, and I forget the guy, I forget what his character's name was, but you could pick one of the two. It was more of like a shooter, like a third person action shooter. But I remember really liking that one because it had like its own, like, that you got a lot of like lore about these characters that you didn't get in the movies in the video game. There was one of those first times where I was like, whoa, I'm getting more from playing this game. I'm getting more from this movie from playing this video game, which I thought was like one of the first times I experienced that, which was really cool. But the Path of Neo, I thought, was the first time, or at least that I remember, this was the first time where like you could do like the fucking slow motion shit and you could like fly around as Neo. I was like, man, I've always wanted to be Neo from the Matrix in a video game, and this game fucking did it.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I just some ones right off the top of the noggin. DuckTales.
Yes.
Fucking classic.
Yep.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I think was another fucking fantastic one. Here's one just off the dome. The Chronicles of Riddick.
Yes.
Escape from Butcher Bay. That game, once again, no fucking reason whatsoever that game should be good.
I feel like the people that made Time Splitters made this, maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. It was fantastic. Also, are we supposed to be getting a Time Splitters 3? Did they announce that like 7 years ago and it never came out?
It died this week, actually. All of those Embracer layoffs that we didn't talk about in the show, that was one of the games that died.
No, you're fucking kidding me. The irony of the statement.
Yeah, it's dead. It's one of, I think, 15 games that got hatcheted that Embracer was working on, including KOTOR remake. They didn't necessarily confirm it, but it's pretty much confirmed that game's dead, which is a bummer.
I have a feeling that the KOTOR will end up popping back up by someone else, though.
It might. It might.
Disney's not going to let that die. There's too much money to be made there.
I hope so, because I would love a modern game of that. Honestly, have the people that made Baldur's Gate 3 do it. Have Larian Studios do a KOTOR remake.
Mad Max.
Oh, Mad Max is a great call. PS4 era, really good car combat.
Yeah, just like a hidden gem. Like, feel like it was just kind of left out in the ether there. Bummer.
I agree. Someone earlier in the chat said GoldenEye on the 64. More so for me, James Bond Nightfire, which was the PS2, Xbox, GameCube era James Bond game, or one of a few of them. But we played so much James Bond Nightfire in my house. Really like that game. Also, last one I'll give a shout out to. It's a game that we've definitely talked about on the show before. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Fucking great game.
Uncaged edition only.
Uncaged edition only.
Yeah, you don't want to play the Wii version. There was a Wii, I don't know if you know this. There was a Wii version.
I didn't know that.
That was rated T for teen.
Disgusting.
Think about that. The whole sell of the game was to get just fucking destroyed.
The whole sell of the game was to see Wolverine's adamantium skeleton
Yeah.
briefly, and then it come up as and your skin grows back because you're fucking Wolverine.
I got
Bub.
one more I'm gonna throw
Okay,
out there,
hit
and
me.
that is SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yes, you just reminded me. There were a couple more audience submissions that I didn't cover. That was one of them. Evan Brando said,
Yeah.
"Battle for Bikini Bottom, great video game." He also said, which I think I agree with,
Mhm.
other than the last like 15 minutes of episode 3, the
Mhm.
2000s were better for Star Wars video games than they were for movies. Because we got a lot of Star Wars bangers on the
That
video
is
game
true. The
side.
episode 3,
Episode 3
Revenge
game,
was amazing.
great game. Also, Republic Commando, both KOTORs,
Yeah.
Battlefront 1 and 2. Like, we got a
Mhm.
lot of great Star Wars video games for sure.
I concur.
Um, and then actually, you briefly mentioned Marvel Alliance, also the original X-Men Legends games.
Oh man, can we just
Really good.
someone out there just like, I don't know,
Bring it
bring it
back.
back.
We brought it back, baby. What did we miss, guys? You're listening, you're watching, you're driving your car, you're working on your little sewing project. You're knitting a little sweater for grandma. Write in, let us know. Mail at spotlightgames.net.
I'm fucking waiting for the text message from Boston Mike where he's like, brother, you forgot about the licensed video game all about the life and death of Tom Brady. I'm
Great
gonna
video
be
game.
like,
But I actually did forget. Boston Mike did say the Hulk game from the Eric
oh
Bana movie
yeah,
was pretty sweet.
the Indestructible Hulk.
I actually
Or
don't think I
no.
played it.
Wait, no, I don't think that might have been a different one. The Indestructible Hulk was great though.
Yeah, I don't think I played either.
It's the team that made that went on to make the prototype games, which were also awesome. They just
Interesting.
apparently they sold well, but just not well enough. Apparently,
Just not well enough. No.
okay.
Also, closing out the show, Babylon Drifter in the chat. Haven't seen you in a while. Hello, TIE Fighter. Star Wars TIE Fighter. Great call out. Great call out. That should have been mentioned in the 2000s were better for Star Wars video games than they were for movies conversation. But yeah, what did we miss? I'm sure we missed a ton of video games. But Cayman, that's our show. A tight. Some say this is probably the shortest show we've ever had. That's not true. But yeah, let us know what we missed. Guilty Remnant Smoker, Escape from Butcher Bay. It makes me think of the Bay Harbor Butcher. Is there a Dexter game? I think there might be a Dexter video game. I want to say it was maybe on mobile. Let's find out together.
Has to be a
Dexter
mobile game.
video game. Dexter the game, developed by Icarus Studios. Oh wow, ooh, that looks rough. It was a PC game, released September 2012. It looks like maybe it's like a visual novel, perhaps, but it was released on PC, iPad, and iPhone.
Ooh,
But had a lot of the cast in it from the show. But man, it looks rough.
Michael C. Hall took some time away from his music career to voice
of an
a
angel.
video game.
When I get my PC, which is happening soon, I'm going to be streaming Dexter the show, the game. By Showtime.
I'm gonna have to make trips down from the mountains to come in and start streaming off of your computer. The Dumpster Boys Dumpster Dives.
Yes. Also, Babylon Drifter says denigrating mobile games is sexist. I disagree. I disagree. And since I'm not going to see you for Thanksgiving, we're going to take this up either before or at Christmas, young man, because I'm not going to let you try to ruin my character in the chat on twitch.tv/spotlightgames.
Wait, we didn't even talk about the licensed Fast and the Furious games, and that's a show, baby.
That's because they're fucking terrible. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. You can follow me at Patrick Schwag. You can follow the pod at Spot Games Pod on Twitter, or Spotlight Games Pod everywhere else, including YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, all the places. I still have a lot of reels that I need to post for the top 100. I only ever posted a couple, but it's at some point you're going to be like, they're talking about the top 100 again. It's because I'm a lazy, naughty little boy. But Cayman, where can they follow you? Where can they follow Safe Trash Cinema, which should be returning relatively soon, I think.
We always say it.
Maybe.
You can follow me at the Dumpster Boy on Twitter. STC, so you can follow at Save Trash Cinema on all socials. Like we always say, STC's come back soon. We actually have plans for some stuff coming up in a bit. And I'm actually working right now on seeing if we can get a couple more interviews booked out. So should have some interesting stuff coming down the pipeline soon enough. And look forward to that. We have a huge back catalog. If you haven't, you can go back and listen to some disgusting filth of episodes. That's just
filthy.
what we're known for.
Filthy. Hope to see you next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv/SpotlightGamersPod. Until then, have a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. I hope that you just hashtag free the moth. I don't know what that means. Maybe I just said something I shouldn't have said, but that's what John said in the chat. And I'm trusting in you, John. Don't fuck me. Don't fuck me, John.
Don't fuck him.